How did you get rid of depression? I didn't get rid of it. I learned to live with or in spite of it. Friend of mine said, have you tried smiling more? And then I was cured. I quit alcohol and weed, time, sunlight and activity. The only thing that's ever worked for me long term was sitting and analyzing my emotions. Sit, pick one thing, anything at all, see how you feel about it. Good, bad, neutral, or otherwise. Repeat. Some things are huge, and you'll find you have an entire tapestry of energy woven together into a belief you never knew you had. Then you can let it go. And bit by bit, you'll feel better. Sometimes amazingly so. Sometimes just a little bit. You'll go and live your life for a bit and it will be improved. Eventually you'll find a few more things you need to analyze. So repeat the process. And eventually you'll be alright. You might still have some issues, I certainly do. None of us are perfect. But you should be able to get by. Have you tried asking it nicely to leave? Got rid of the people making me depressed. Microdosing mushrooms and the idea that she's a cruel mistress who will always be with me. Walking outside doesn't hurt though, lots of time outside. Like every time I could force myself. Gratitude journaling. Taking time to be comfortable being alone. Most importantly, dedicating time to help others. I've experienced deep betrayal since childhood. I've had a lot of trauma and tragedy in my life. So I've had a lot of time to perfect the ability to pull through. What's crazy to me is the deep sense of happiness I now have, despite everything. It's the one thing I know I can do for myself, no matter what I'm faced with. A combo of ketamine therapy and Wellbutrin. It didn't get rid of it, but I'm now able to bounce back sooner and no more multiple days of depression. Medication and therapy would be your medical way, but we know how expensive that gets. Making extremely minor life improvements is definitely a good way to do it, even if it's something like going for a walk with some music in your ears, working out, picking up a simple hobby. Virtually anything that doesn't take too much brain power but still feels rewarding when you finish it. Does it ever really go away? Being available. Anytime someone called, needed a couple bucks, needed to vent, or even just wanted to talk, I would give them the effort. It made me feel better knowing I was helping someone else through a tough time, because I had probably been in their shoes at one point and reached out for help or advice as well. My best mate was going through a rough patch a while ago, was seriously depressed, so decided to take the boat out on the river and just float downstream for a bit. Have a few ciders, just float, listen to music, talk. I've done that trip dozens of times. Turned into a near-death experience. Boat went into a recently downed tree. The speed of the water caused the boat to literally fold in half. My mate fell out, went under, came out the other side and grabbed a tree branch, but the current was so strong he couldn't pull himself out. We actually really nearly died but got out alive. Completely cured my mate's depression after that. He was good again. Unfortunately, it never goes away, you just get better at managing it. 20 years. I'm still working on it. Not giving up yet though, lol, I didn't. It's crippled me since I was 13 and I'm 32 now. Heavily treatment resistant. It's a lifelong mental disorder I'll be living with. Surprisingly, vitamin D tablets got rid of a lot of it. Gotta take care of the rest though. With true depression you don't have control over it except possibly with prescription drugs. I've had depression my entire 60 years on this planet and I don't control shit about it coming or going. I've learned to live with it, and I've learned to force myself to do what I don't want to do, but it's always there when it's active.